Good morning, everyone. We're going to play with paper dolls today. I just recorded this video, and for some dumb reason it was recorded in slow motion, so that didn't do any good. So here I'm doing it again. Maybe this time I'll do it better and quicker and faster and clearer and everything else. So in my life, part of my life is spent selling pens to pen people. And the pen people I have broken down into four major groups. We have the writer, and the writer is the student, the novelist, the poet, the journalist, the diarist, the accountant, the people that take a pen and they use it without any pretense, without they may be professional writers, and they might get paid for writing, but they're different from the pen users like an artist or calligrapher in that way. So anyway, I'm calling them writers. We have the pen collector. Which one is the collector? The pen collector. And he or she looks at a pen and bases his or her interest in it depending on things like age, condition, rarity. Think of stamp collectors or coin collectors. Baseball card collectors. They are interested in the object, not what the object will do, but the object itself. And there's other characteristics about pen collectors that I will not go into, but they're a different kind of person than the writer. Is that a Parker Vacuumatic in your pocket? 1937? It's a pen, for God's sake. You know, it doesn't mean that they don't overlap in some ways, but this guy is interested in a certain thing. This person is interested in another thing. These two people, the artist and the calligrapher, are interested in pens, but more on the line they create than what it looks like. These two people, I think, care more about what the pen looks like. I mean, obviously the collector does, but the writer is different in the sense of, they may have one pen in their life and they want it to be pretty. It's like someone wants the car that they drive every day to commute to work. They want the car to be nice and clean and functional, but they might be a little bit more concerned about appearances, because this is the pen is part of their wardrobe. It's like the watch they're wearing. The pen in their pocket is more than just a tool that they use. They want it to maybe have be a statement about their personality. Maybe I'm giving more to the writer, the user, than I'd like, but I think that that's true. The artist and the calligrapher generally don't care what the pen looks like. The pen could be very old and damaged. It could have teeth marks on the back. It could have a missing clip. They don't care as much because they're going to be using the pen as a tool. So let me just give you an example here. Okay, you're supposed to see that. It's off camera. do it again so you know that this wasn't pre-made. So it would help, if I had a set that was a big set. From the artist and calligrapher, these two are interested in what this pen does from here to here. The other two people, these two, are interested sort of in from here to here. They're interested in what the pen looks like. Already I'm getting very confused at what I'm doing. But let's talk about these two people and how these two people are different from each other. An artist, I like to sell this guy with his absinthe drinking, beret wearing. I want him. Drives me mental. I want him to be able to have a pen where he or she can push the pen around. They get the inspiration to draw the figure or the tree or whatever it is they're drawing, and they immediately go into their creative mindset and push the pen around in any different direction. And I want a pen that I know can be pushed around in any direction without feeling like it will be damaged. Because pens can be damaged by being pushed in the wrong way. So an artist, I will give an artist a pen that can be abused in some way. A calligrapher, on the other hand, because the strokes that they make and that they learn to make are standardized. They sort of, part of their shtick is getting in the rhythm of creating beautiful lines by having standardized shapes and standardized forms being used to create the words they write beautifully. So when they push the pen around, they're following a standardized set of rules. And because their brain, because their brain is tuned in to that activity, those actions, I'm able to sell them a pen that is a little bit more fragile, maybe a little finer, a little more flexible, because I know that they won't damage it by suddenly being inspired to have a flourish go off in a funny direction. Yes, their flourishes can go in a funny direction, but they'll know that they can't press down to go in that direction, because that's not what the standardized lines work. The shading, the thick lines happen in a certain space, a certain way, a certain place, and they know not to press down going uphill. Whereas the artist doesn't, when they're drawing, they don't know that rule. So they can sort of press down harder going uphill. If this pen were fragile and I made that line that I just made, a artist would break it. Whereas a calligrapher would know never to make that line pressured going the wrong way. So these people, these calligrapher types, might end up with the most fragile pen, maybe the most delicate pen, because I won't trust an artist with it. Aw, they look so nice together. But anyway, it doesn't mean that an artist can't use a pen that's fragile. Some artists draw very delicately, and I think that they would be fine with it. But I try to make sure that the pen I sell an artist is going to be able to withstand the abuse that an artist might give it. Calligrapher, I try to sell them a pen that will work well with their mindset. And they do have a mindset, I think. Doesn't mean that they can't step outside the box that they work within, but the strokes they make, the letter forms they make, I think they're a little bit more aware. I guess that's it. A calligrapher is more aware of the pen as a tool and what its limitations are, whereas an artist more easily forgets that, and they're concerned about drawing the shadowing on the tree or the musculature on the arm. They're aware of what the pen or the tool that they're using can do, but they're not as tuned into it as the calligrapher might be. Now the writer, any writer is making letter forms. Any writer is writing words. Any writer may have a particular desire to have a pen that's flexible or not flexible or fine or broad, but the words they're creating are their words, and they're thinking about the meaning of the words, not so much how pretty they look. So I want to sell them a pen that maybe is focused, where they're able to focus on the meaning of the word rather than how pretty the word looks. When I was a student in school, I would take a pen like this to class, I could easily get distracted. The professor might write, say something nice, Bismarck, unified Germany. I'm taking the notes, and the way I make a K suddenly made me think, oh, that's not a pretty K, and there's another K, and I can get distracted by using a pen like this. So when I was a student in school, I specifically chose to write with a pen like a Parker 51. It wasn't a Parker 51, but it was a pen like it, in that it made a standard line that did not vary. And I was able, because it didn't do anything like this, I actually was able to focus on what the professor was saying because I wasn't distracted. So I do want to sell a writer a pen that will not distract him from the words he's writing. I want him or her to put down a word that is meaningful. I want the accountant that buys a very fine pointed pen from me to be able to write down that big number of the profits made by the Trump hotel system on the taxpayers. I want him to be able to fill in those numbers, and without being distracted. Oh, that's a pretty 8. Oh, here's another pretty 8. And then all is lost. So the writer, the artist, here's the collector being ignored. These two people, as I've said, these are my favorite customers, really, because I know that they're going to use the pen. They're not just going to look at it, and they don't necessarily care what it looks like. Many of the pens I have all of the pens I have were owned by someone else before I bought them. Many of the pens I had were used by someone before I fixed them up and sold them. So they have wear marks. There's gold plating is missing. There's teeth marks on the end. And I know that a collector wouldn't want to have anything to do with that pen. Neither would a writer. A writer sometimes, there are some people that buy cars. They would never think of buying a used car. because someone else's butt was on that seat. And I'm not going to have that car. I want it perfect. And you can understand that in a writer. With an artist and a calligrapher, I don't think they care about that. They can care about it, but I don't think that's their primary concern. They want a pen. They think of this pen as a tool. And so anyway, I try to, again, when I have a pen, let's say this pen and this pen. These two pens are up for sale, and I've got these two customers. And these two customers like these two pens. I might say, I'd rather switch them. This pen has the sturdiness. They might both be very similar, but this pen has the sturdiness that an artist will like, and this pen is a little bit more fragile, and a calligrapher will know how to use it to its best advantage. I also, in my selling pens to people, I often use the car analogy again. And if I have a Porsche and the person is going to only drive it around the block or up and down the driveway or to the grocery store, I'm saying, why am I selling you a Porsche? The Porsche goes to the guy that's going to take it out on the highway. And not only a highway, he's going to go to the Autobahn in Germany and just go as fast as he can. No matter how much this person might want the Porsche, I don't want to sell him the Porsche if he's not going to be able to use it the right way. So I try to make the pen go into the right hands. So when I show you this one and you want to get that one, pay attention to me. Look at the one I'm showing you. If you want to buy this one too, you can. But I want to sell you this pen because this is the one that you're going to know how to use, and it will benefit you. So, ta-da. That's how I think of the pens that I have. I try to think of the type of person that's going to want them. Thank you.